Have you ever stopped to wonder why the tips of your fingers are covered in these tiny ridges? Why nature went through the trouble of giving each of us a completely unique pattern that never repeats? For centuries, fingerprints were mostly famous for one thing, catching criminals, but that's just scratching the surface of a much deeper story. The real reason you have fingerprints is far more fascinating than detective work. Let's start with the basics. Those swirling patterns on your fingertips aren't just skin deep. They're called friction ridges and they form before you're even born. Around the 10th week in the womb, your tiny fingers begin developing these patterns. The exact way they form depends on a mix of factors: your genes, the pressure in the womb, even how fast your fingers are growing at that exact moment. This is why even identical twins don't share the same fingerprints. But here's the real question: why do we have them at all? The most obvious answer is grip. Those ridges on your fingers act like the treads on a tire. They channel away moisture and increase friction between your skin and whatever you're touching. Try picking up a glass with wet hands and you'll appreciate this design immediately. Without fingerprints, our fingers would be smooth and slippery, making it incredibly difficult to hold onto objects, especially in wet conditions. But grip is just the beginning. Scientists have discovered something remarkable. Your fingerprints are actually sensory powerhouses. Those ridges amplify vibrations when you touch something. Think of them like the grooves on a vinyl record. When you run your finger across a surface, the ridges create tiny vibrations that travel through your skin to specialized nerve endings called Pacinian corpuscles. These nerves are exquisitely sensitive to vibration. This means your fingerprints are essentially amplifying your sense of touch. They help you feel texture with incredible precision. You can tell silk from cotton, smooth from rough, hard from soft, all because those ridges are converting tiny surface variations into signals your brain can read. Research has shown that people can detect textures with grooves as small as 13 nanometers. That's smaller than a wavelength of visible light. Your fingerprints are what make this superhuman sensitivity possible. There's another benefit that scientists have recently uncovered. Your fingerprints might actually protect your fingers from damage. When you grip something tightly or apply pressure, those ridges help distribute the stress across your fingertip. They act like tiny shock absorbers, preventing blisters and making your skin more resilient. People who lose their fingerprints through injury or rare genetic conditions often report that their fingers become more prone to tearing and damage. And here's something that might surprise you: you don't just have fingerprints. You have toe prints too, with the same unique patterns. Palms and soles also have friction ridges, though they're less pronounced. Primates have them as well. Our closest relatives, chimps and gorillas, all sport these helpful ridges. It's an evolutionary feature that helps tree-dwelling creatures grip branches and manipulate objects. So your fingerprints are really a 3-in-1 biological tool. They're a grip enhancer, a touch amplifier, and a protective layer, all rolled into one elegant design. Nature is rarely wasteful, and fingerprints are a perfect example of efficiency. The fact that they're also unique to every person, that's almost a happy accident. That uniqueness is simply a byproduct of the complex developmental process, not the original purpose. But humans certainly found a use for it, from ancient Babylon, where fingerprints marked clay tablets, to modern forensics and biometric security. Next time you press your finger against a surface and leave behind that telltale mark, remember, you're looking at millions of years of evolution. Those swirling patterns are your personal grip tape, your sensory amplifier, and your biological signature all at once. They're proof that even the smallest details of our bodies often hide the most extraordinary purposes. Your fingerprints aren't just for identification, they're for living. Thanks for watching the video. And please do not forget to subscribe the channel for more videos.